I'd like to now introduce Janet Torge from Radical Rest Homes. When I asked Janet to give me a 1 or 2 sentence bio, she basically turned around and said, that's basically impossible, and here's why. She's a founder of the first rape relief center in Canada, CFCF overnight talk show host, CBC traffic reporter on Daybreak, producer for Josh Freed documentaries, doula and prenatal teacher, and currently founder and tireless promoter of Radical Rest Homes. Welcome, Janet, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is a great Congress for me because I'm not usually in a group that is focused on one group of people. Like, yes, seniors, but this is even more than that. So you have to take that into consideration when I do my share screen. Okay. So I'm with Radical Rest Homes, which has been around for way too many years. Hold on a second. Would you like to unmute your microphone? I've already, okay, unmute, fine. It's been around for about 9 years now. We just keep going on. We eventually will get our first pilot project. What we're about, okay, hold on. Why is this not working? Okay, there we go. Okay, why do we need, in general, why do we need new housing options? Housing is supposed to be about 30, if you're renting, about 30% of your monthly income or pension, and purchase is like 3 times your annual income. So what housing costs now is about 42% of your monthly income, and a purchase price is 7 times your annual income. With senior housing, it's even worse. The lower cost senior housing is, oh, come on. Come on, people, what's going on? Okay, the lower cost senior residence is about 1.5 times the highest government pension. And if you live in if you go into a regular institutional residence, it's guaranteed to take almost all your savings if you live long enough. So many young seniors want a new chapter, and this is how some of us see the last part of our life if we go into institutions, and this is not what we want. So here's what I think real housing alternatives are for seniors. They are run and managed by the people who live there. How come when we get over 70, we can't manage our lives anymore? We need to have somebody else come in and tell us how to do things or feed us from a cafeteria food. Real housing alternatives are small groups of community living. They're non-institutionalized and they're not isolating. We think that residents should share values and interests, and this is where the LGBTQ plus group can come into. You should be able to live with friends, with people who understand you, without having to go back in the closet. Ideally, it would include a multi-generational component so that you have young energy around, either outside in the neighborhood or at least where you can get that young energy input. And the residents look after each other. You don't have to have outside care all the time. Residents can look after each other with help from friends, family, and the medical world. And care emphasizes quality of life, not just treatment. And housing is affordable. For real, I say, because some of the definitions of what affordable is these days is not really affordable. We just recently did a research report and we chatted with alternative senior housing actually around the world. We went to places in Canada, the US, London, England. We went to Sweden, Australia, Germany, France, And we found that there is a world movement going on to really get new housing models going. So radical rest homes is really a unique idea. I keep wanting to find other places that are doing what we're doing, but I can't find them, so I can't get help. We want to use existing buildings and vibrant neighborhoods. There is a reason to build, to do new construction, but there are some beautiful houses in Montreal and across the country that would make great radical rest homes. We would like to have co-living rentals. Now, there could be some equity tenants if we needed the money, but in some of these houses, and Montreal has tons of them, like 8-bedroom, like beautiful mansions that used to be for large Catholic families. We want those buildings. We're looking at small groups with a comfy atmosphere and houses with purpose, in the sense that the people who live together, they share values, they share interests. It's not like in residences, you're just a senior body that's filling a room. They don't ask whether your personality is this way or that way, whether you share whether you're compatible with anybody else who lives there. And we think this is really important. If it's also a multi-generational building, you have residents like immigrant families that are helped by the seniors who live there, or student mentorships, which means that the residents in the building change for positive reasons. Because another problem that comes with small groups living together is that the residents only change when somebody gets really sick or dies, which is a real bummer. So if you had multi-generational students or refugees or immigrants families living with seniors and seniors helping them out, they would leave for positive reasons as they've moved on. And it has to be affordable for all the tenants. That's one of our main reasons. It's one of the reasons we haven't gotten the first pilot project off the ground. So what are the barriers to innovative housing ideas? Well, the first one, of course, is that senior housing developers want control of the market share. And so they're the ones that are actually doing senior housing. And they see a lot of us, like so many of us, a tsunami of us coming down the pike. And so they're building more and more, like 300-unit buildings. The government money is also partial to big, look what we've done, new projects. We've talked to them so often, and they're not really interested in what we're saying, which is a lot of smaller, houses all over the country. They want big projects, and they think there should be like between 100 and 200 apartment or residential buildings. Affordable housing also is not profitable or interesting for investors. So we've got a couple of investors that are interested in radical rest homes, but it's not profitable. So as much as they want to be there, they can't, or they won't. And we also are up against insurance, zoning laws, and real estate volatility, which push away new ideas like ours. So on the other hand, let's do the optimistic look. What's in our favor? Well, the pandemic showed the flaws in the present system, and the government seems to want to just tinker with them, but we can always fall back on that as a reason. And affordable housing is a big concern post-COVID, unless they find new ways of promoting different kinds of housing. Even the things that are out there, they just are not affordable. There's, I'll get to that later. We enrolled in an innovation startup called District 3, which really helped us get off the ground. So there are programs now. If you have a great idea, they will help you get things moving. And we received a grant from the Fondazione Mirella e Lino Saputo, which helped us do the research that we're doing. So what's left for us to do besides get off the ground? We found a lot of promising practices in the research report that we did, and we are looking to institute some of those things. One of them is you get the people first, and you grow a group solidarity. You focus on ways to build strong connections among the people who might live together. That was like Maison Rebelle. That's exactly what they're doing. The other idea is you can partner up with other innovation projects who have similar challenges, which again is Maison Rebelle, and that's the kind of thing that we're looking into as well. And you can find people who want to park their savings in a radical rest home real estate property. It's hard, but we are finding that there are people who, instead of putting their savings into some trust company or whatever, they can park it in a real estate property. And then the other thing is that we just can't give up. We've been on radical rest homes now. We're in our 9th year, and we are not giving up. We will actually make it to the finish line, but I have no idea how. So I think what Radical Rest Homes is trying to do is to help everybody reimagine aging, that it's not a thing when you get older, at some point you've got to be put off into an institution. There are other ways to live to do your aging, and to do it in a graceful and respectful way. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. That was very informative, and I agree with you. We need to look at other alternatives to the big institutions.
Yeah, they're not doing us any favors, are they?
No, not at all.